Hey, sixth grade, happy Monday morning. Not gonna lie, I'm actually filming this Friday afternoon, so I don't have to do it over the weekend, and we can all enjoy our weekend, right? So let's get right into pod, shall we? Announcements, reminders. I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about Chromebooks and thank you guys that are being so careful with them. We got some newer, nicer cases, and I think that helps. And we need to make those things last, though. So a few of you guys have been pretty just careless or reckless, leaving them around, throwing them, things like that. And just remember, you signed an agreement that any damage on those things will be paid for by you. Okay, so sometimes things naturally happen. I don't want to stress anybody out if a key comes off or something, but we can generally tell when it's a user problem that you have done something that has broken those. So I just encourage you. They're very wonderful tools, learning tools, and I think most of you guys are doing a great job taking care of them, but hopefully that's all of you. All right. Last week when I was getting ready for doing pod for eighth grade, there are some things happening on the 6th. So today's Friday. This was just Wednesday. All right. And I talked to Mrs. Rouse because usually social studies, social studies teachers are the ones that will talk to you about national events. And you guys talk about different areas of the world and don't always focus on the U.S. And I asked her if there was a lot of curiosity or questions about what happened in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday afternoon. And she said, not really. Feel free to ask her if you do have questions. I just wanted to tell you a few things, just why many people were upset if you don't know the context, or why I know why I was personally upset is folks were there trying to disrupt the counting of the Electoral College votes, which are for president and vice president. And really, free and fair elections are the foundation of our representative democracy. The people that we vote to represent us, we're in there trying to find our next leader of the executive branch. And so the symbolism behind that we've had trouble trusting our elections, and this was sort of the culmination that people were attacking that, is what upset me the most, made me kind of angry and sad. So if you're wondering why it was a big deal, it was a building that got broke into. Well, it was more about which building, the U.S. Capitol building, and what those people were doing. They were counting our presidential election. And if we don't have that, I worry about our democracy. Okay, so that's why some adults in your life may have been upset. And it really wasn't, I'm not here to talk about political parties, but just as our nation. Okay. You guys that are our future, speaking of being a nation, this is just, I didn't want to lecture you, but you guys have the chance to make things better, okay? And us adults have sort of poisoned this process, that we can no longer disagree respectfully. And if somebody has a different party affiliation than you, Republican or Democrat, some people think the other side is like the enemy. We're all Americans. We can have different ideas about what's best for this country, but we've got to get back to doing so a little bit more respectfully, with some civility, and not name calling and not vilifying the other side. Okay, so that's one thing I have that's a hope for the future with you guys. I also want to caution you on what I call, I didn't make it up, but the idea of information silos. So if you get on your social media, you start liking the same sort of people or writers, pretty soon you're going to have algorithms that control your Facebook or Insta or Twitter or wherever you get your news, or even YouTube, and you're going to get the same kind of news over and over. So if you know a grain silo, it's self-contained and it's tall, right? And so all you're going to hear is the same sort of information. And so if all you hear is that, you're going to start maybe being misinformed a little bit. You may believe some things that just aren't true because it seems like, well, 20 people said it, 50 people said it must be true. The problem is you've created your own silo for yourself. So as you start learning more about the world, I know you guys are young, 11, 12-year-olds in sixth grade. You get a lot of information from your parents and elsewhere. Open yourself up, okay, to different sources, valid sources, interpretations, and use your critical thinking. But make sure you don't get stuck in, well, everybody must be saying it, because social media is controlled by algorithms and they're going to tell you what you want to hear. So just be careful you don't get stuck in an information silo. But in the end, I'm feeling a little more hopeful than I was after that day, because I feel like our country survived some stuff that could have been a crisis, and I believe in the future led by you guys. So those are my thoughts. Again, if you have any questions for me, fine, let me know. Mrs. Rouse could help you as well, understanding some of the context of what happened Wednesday. When I looked at the student of the week, list for this week. We only had a couple people on there. I'm a bit early. I may have to remind your teachers to put that on there before Friday for me. But I did want to congratulate not P and Y. I don't know who those people are. I think it was just left over from when I did this last. But I did want to congratulate Noel Rodriguez, Student of the Month for Math, and Rayana, I say her name weird, Schmidt for Science. And hopefully we can get some more names out there and congratulate you guys. Really appreciate all the hard work in the classroom. All right. To our pod lesson for the day. So last week we introduced a new habit. Remember that habit 4 transitions to the public victory when you have to start dealing with other people. And so habit 4, think win-win. Try to put that in your brain. It's a mindset. It's a paradigm. Okay. It's basically saying you want to be collaborative, cooperative, and saying that it's not all about me, that all of us can have a share in this success. Remember, that mindset really does impact how you communicate with people. Okay, so if you have a lose-win mentality, you're like a doormat and people could walk all over you. It's okay to say, I'm fine with whatever, but if you do that all the time, people will take advantage of it. You might be on a totem pole where you're always trying to get up the ladder and make other people go down. I think we describe this as aggressive, like a lion. So you're saying, I'm going to win for sure. Forget the rest of you guys. That's not good either. Don't get stuck in a lose-lose downward spiral where you're saying, I'm going down, you suckers are coming down with me. We want win-win mindset to help you think win-win. And you say, you know what? It's not all about my likes, but remember, the assertive win-win mindset is saying, I'm going to make myself heard and have my opinions heard. I'm not going to be passive, but your opinion is just as valuable. We're going to make time for both of them. All right. So that's the foundation of think win-win. There's another side to this for thinking win-win, and it's the Tumor twins. This little thing's in the way a little bit, but I love this concept from Sean Covey about two things that are like tumors. They are really tumorous, that they could get inside your brain and erode your good thoughts about other people. First one is comparison, which Teddy Roosevelt, that handsome former president, called the thief of joy. And you think, what's so wrong with comparison? Well, let's find out, shall we? I can only tell this from my perspective, but I know as a parent, and this is a part of social media as well. I'm not sure how to get rid of this thing. How about that? Cool. On my third kid now, we're getting a little bit better. And I was always okay with this, but my wife, because she cares so much about our kids, would see these like, you should be crawling by this time. You should be saying this many words by this time. And certainly you don't want your kid to get behind. But it was almost like, let's let the kid develop, until a doctor says we should be worried, we should be fine. And it also happens on social media. And again, I'm not a kid, but I know that in my world, there's some mom competition, like who can have the most elaborate birthday party and post their photos to Instagram. And, oh, look what I did for my kid's Christmas. And then some people will scroll through that and say, well, I didn't do that for my kid. Now, that doesn't apply to you, but some of you guys may think, oh, that person has more followers than me, or his photo got more likes, or that a girl may be saying she looks different or wears her clothes better than me. Okay. So we spend too much time as adults and even as kids of just saying, like, be happy with who you are instead of constantly comparing those folks to yourself to other folks. All right. We all have different contexts. I think this might end up being kind of a long pod, but I want to show you this video really quick. As sixth graders, you may not have seen it yet. It's about social media and comparison. I don't think it's super long, so let's play it. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and stop it just for the sake of time, and you can kind of get a theme going on there. Basically, what we were seeing is that girl woke up in bed and she wanted to post this very natural, like, "Oh, I just woke up." She'd been in the bathroom getting ready for like an hour. Okay, there was the kid who, well, he's a kid to me, took a bike riding photo and saying he was getting fit, where really he hadn't even been on the bike. I love the one with the drink when he's saying getting healthy. That last picture, the kid went through like 6 different looks to get the right one, the mirror, different filters, and it was hashtag effortless. Like he just looked like that, like he rolled out of bed. So that's one of the biggest things to remember. When I mentioned down there, I'm sorry, I just covered it up. We learned that in assembly last year. Oh, remember when we used to have assemblies from a guy named Colin Karchner. That it's silly to compare yourself to folks on social media because social media is not real. Okay, everyone puts things through different filters. They don't necessarily talk about the down moments in their life. Okay, so if you're somebody who spends a lot of time on social media, and statistics show us that a lot of kids do, or you will soon. Okay, yeah, it's great to have friends, but don't be always looking at different people's profiles and saying, "Oh, how come they're different than me or better?" Because that may not be reality. All right. This other video I should probably show to you as well. It's a little longer, but I think it's good because it shows that we all have different advantages. A little blurry, but I think it's worth watching at least a portion of it. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I wonder if this one's no longer linked. We shall see. There it is.
Hey, line up. Line up. Everybody line up. We're about to race. Everybody line up. Shoulder to shoulder. Take off your backpacks. Basketball, line up. We're about to race. Hey, we are racing for a $100 bill. The winner of this race will take this.
$100.
A $100 bill. Before I say go, I'm going to make a couple statements. If those statements apply to you, I want you to take 2 steps forward. If those statements don't apply to you, I want you to stay right where you're at. Take 2 steps forward if both of your parents are still married. Take 2 steps forward if you grew up with a father figure in the home. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a private education. Take 2 steps forward if you had access to a free tutor growing up. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to worry about your cell phone being shut off. Take 2 steps forward if you've never had to help mom or dad with the bills. Take 2 steps forward if it wasn't because of your athletic ability, you don't have to pay for college. Take 2 steps forward if you never wondered where your next meal was going to come from. I want you guys up here in the front just to turn around and look. Every statement I've made has nothing to do with anything any of you have done. Has nothing to do with decisions you've made. Everything I've said has nothing to do with what you've done. We all know these people up here have a better opportunity to win this $100. Does that mean these people back here can't race? No. We would be foolish to not realize we've been given more opportunity. We don't want to recognize that we've been given a head start. But the reality is we have. Now, there's no excuse. They still got to run their race. You still got to run your race. But whoever wins this $100, I think it'd be extremely foolish of you not to utilize that and learn more about somebody else's story. Because the reality is, if this was a fair race and everybody was back on that line, I guarantee you some of these black dudes would smoke all of you. And it's only because you have this big of a head start that you're possibly going to win this race called life. That is a picture of life, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing you've done has put you in the lead that you're in right now. When I say go, on your mark, get set, go!
Okay. I wish I tried to stop on the visual of everybody catching up. So if you didn't catch the metaphor, you do have, some people do, some advantages or privileges, or some people might call them blessings. Other people don't. So when you say, hey, here at age 11, this kid's taller than me or faster than me, or, they have nicer clothes. That's nothing with what you've done. Okay. I actually know people, speaking of sports, that were the best player around when they were, eighth grade freshmen, but by the end of high school, they weren't. Okay. So people are going to develop differently. People have more money. People have the chance to go to camps. People have both. There's all these things that you have. But what's nice is that the moment the race started, people are able to catch up. Okay. But I'm just saying, along the way, if you're at the starting line and you see, how come they're up there? Don't feel bad about yourself, because it's nothing they did. Like the narrator of the video said, it's just part of life. Okay. But in the end, you can get caught up in the race of life. So I think that's a good one in the context of comparison. One of my favorite videos, actually. So, and there's another slide in there somewhere. A Star Wars one. No wonder. So with these Tumor twins, I wanted to say, like a lot of things, there's a light side and a dark side. Don't join me on the dark side, but you can compare and it'll be okay. And the version of the light side of comparing is, again, not looking at people on social media and saying, oh man, why do they have this? Compare yourself with yourself. Don't become bitter. But if you say, how can I be better than I was yesterday? Okay, how can I improve from my last quiz score or whatever it is? If that's your source of competition, yourself and your goals and being the best version of what you can be, that's a very helpful light side, Jedi side of comparison. All right, y'all. The second tumor is competition. And I have this handsome gentleman, Charles Darwin's picture up there, because Sean Covey in his book talks about the phrase a dog-eat-dog world, where we're talking about survival of the fittest. Darwin's theories in evolution say that the fittest or most fit to alive or the strongest will survive and thrive. Does that work for human beings? Some people would tell you yes. I don't know for sure. So before we get into the bad part, let's talk about the good side of competing. All right. There is like innovation. When cell phones are competing with each other, sometimes we benefit that. They get the best product. We had competition led us to the moon, right? There can be good sides of competition. Athletes like Usain Bolt, who's just a wee bit slower than me, can create great things when they compete in a healthy way. I'm a competitive person. I'm getting better at it because I'm no longer athletic, but there's a good part to that. It can be a good motivator, and has brought the world a lot of good things. There are some downsides, all right? I show you this quick video not because I dislike Steph Curry, even though he's not my favorite player. He actually is a pretty good dude from all that I can see. But this is a moment where his competitiveness took over a little bit too much. NBA Finals, 4 minutes left. His team's down, but they're within range of possibly getting back in the game.
Didn't play in one game.
This is pretty rare for Steph, but let's see what he does here.
Ready and making shots.
Hey, fans in the stadium, also pre-COVID.
Thompson misses his third free throw of the night, as Tristan Thompson able to get that deflected rebound. And a foul on Curry, and Curry's going to get it with a technical. He throws his mouthpiece after fouling out of the game.
And it hit a fan, Mike.
Steph Curry apologizes to the fan, but lost his temper First time he's fouled out since the.
There it is. Okay, apologize to the fan again. Not a bad dude. Okay, not my favorite player, but not a bad dude. He just momentarily got too competitive, and what's the big deal? He got booted from the game. Okay, being one of the best players ever, not the top five. Slowly roll on Steph. He no longer can play. Okay, so that's when competition go too far. Don't get me started on that gentleman, Draymond Green. I don't have anything nice to say. What else is there? Okay, yes, your competitiveness can lead to bad sportsmanship, but it can lead to cheating. Say, I'm going to take advantage of other people. I'm going to cheat. It's a win at all costs. What you should be focused on if you like winning is winning the right way. Okay, if you cheat to win, hopefully a good person, that enjoyment of the win is not going to be as strong. And then I think this is about growth mindset and fixed mindset. Okay, this picture, I don't remember where I got it, but this person has apparently won lots and lots of trophies, but does he look happy? Okay, so I've been around sports, I've been around life, I've been around a lot of things. Okay, things are going to go your way sometimes, other times not so much. But if you say, I got to be a winner no matter what, and if you're focused on that all the time, it's not healthy really, because everybody loses. Hopefully you see losing as a learning opportunity. It doesn't make you a loser. Okay, but when you say, I got to be a winner, I got to be a winner, sometimes that pushes everything else aside. Your morality, your ethics, your sense of right and wrong, because you're just blinded by that. So watch out for competition when it makes you hurt other people or make yourself unhappy. All right. Quote to end on. Handsome gentleman right there is Winston Churchill, who's got a lot of great quotes in his life, former British Prime Minister during World War II. He says, you will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at every dog that barks. It almost sounding that he wants you to ignore the haters, okay? So life is pretty hard on your own. You don't need to be saying, oh, but they have this or they have this, and you don't need to let the tumor side of competition drive you nuts. So hopefully you can avoid those tumors. Maybe just focus on the good side of those things. Sorry if this one was a little bit longer, but thanks for listening. We will see you guys Monday. Enjoy the weekend. I'm talking slow so we can turn this off. Oh, it was longer. Sorry. See you guys. Bye.